All right, we're back with a part two. Um, the end of American power is prophecy. All right. Once again, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and taught us his truth. And peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay, so we just made it all the way up to to point six. All right, of of the pointers. All right, let me read this part right here. While the U.S. still retains undoubted military strength, all right, let me read up a little bit more. Traditionally, the sense of U.S. global dominance has relied on three pillars: economic, military, and cultural power. All right, ultimately their democracy. While the U.S. still retains undoubted military strength, the other pillars are eroding, and some of the pointers are here below. Now, in part one, we read all the way down to part six. This is number 7. Several nations are openly defying U.S. bullying despite the wielding of sanctions. In addition to major powers China and Russia, small and medium-sized nations are also increasingly ignoring Washington's threats, including Bolivia, Nicaragua, Syria, and Venezuela, joining longtime resistors like Cuba, Iran, and North Korea. Okay? What scripture does that remind you of? We just read it in part 1. We'll read it again. Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay? That's a prime example right there. Bolivia, Nicaragua, Syria, Venezuela, all right? Cuba, North Korea, all right? Iran. These are weak nations coming up and saying, I am strong against America, all right? The Philippines, that dude, Duarte, I believe his name, he be talking a lot of shit, okay, against America. But reading on, it says American impotence to bend other nations to its will is becoming more apparent. Its futile use of sanctions to coerce nations is only rebounding to further undermine its global image, betraying pretensions of virtue with a more accurate image of an insufferable tyrant. Okay? That big bully. You know? What happens to the bully, man? You know, eventually somebody's gonna come up and get some guts. He's gonna be tired of getting his lunch money taken. He's tired of getting punched and pushed up against the locker room. All right. He's tired of getting swirlies in the bath in the toilet bowl. You know what I'm saying? You know, swirly. You know, you put them upside down in the toilet and you flush it. All right. They're tired of getting wedgies and all this stuff and getting beat up. So what's he gonna do? One day he's just gonna turn around and he's just gonna punch that bully right in the face. Okay. And then in front of the whole class where everybody sees it, all right, and that bully's gonna get embarrassed. You know, he never got hit before as hard as he did, much like America, who's never suffered a foreign war on U.S. soil. All right, you're gonna see America's nakedness after that. Okay, verse 8. It says the abysmal mishandling of the coronavirus pandemic in the United States compared with, say, China or South Korea is a graphic illustration of systematic power outage. The U.S. does not have political or financial resources to properly deal with the crisis, which exposes systemic weakness. Okay? Now, you know, the coronavirus is its own lesson in itself. I believe it's a hoax, all right, which is something man-made and created, okay, because there were patents. There's a patent that you could find online for 17 different strains of the coronavirus, all right, if you could believe that, and they came out, and it was filed in November it was either, I believe it was November 2015. Okay. And of course, the coronavirus was made known to the world, all right, around November or December of 2019. Okay. So that's the subject for another lesson, man. But the whole situation, the way America's handling it, is making them look weak in front of the eyes of the nations. Okay? It's showing that they can't control this whole thing the way the other nations did. All right, supposedly. Okay? Which this whole thing is a way to promote fear into the people so that they could ultimately push, vaccines, and then ultimately that cherry on top of the cake, which is the RFID microchip, okay, which is the mark of the beast written in the Bible. Part 9. It says the political polarization within the United States speaks of unbridgeable divisions in a population of 330 million to the point where violent unrest and even civil unrest is feared. The implosion of common political ground fatally undermines the trust in governing situations, including the media. This occurs with a recent article by Slavoj Zizek, who argues the functioning limits of liberal democracy, all right, that wine, have been reached in the United States. Something radically different is required, but there is so far little consensus among citizens about what that entails. All right, so civil unrest, okay, and distrust in the media. Okay, everybody's going to alternative media. All right, nobody's listening to those main powerhouse mainstream media news outlets, man, because they already know that it's all BS. Okay. And we gotta kind of repeat ourselves here a little bit, but the scriptures say it. Not 16. We want 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them. 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction is nigh, and one people shall stand and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay? In case, let's, okay? The political polarization within the United States speaks of unbridgeable divisions in a population of 330 million to the point where violence and unrest and civil war is feared. Okay? That's what that is. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay? These people are going to hop up on the media televisions, and nobody's going to listen to them. Okay? It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, all right, because of martial law. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, all right, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for the great tribulation. Okay? This is going to happen. All right. Point number 10. It says social protests against economic inequality. Okay. Racial injustice and police brutality, as well as counter protests, are not going to go away simply on the election of Biden over Trump. As Helen, as somebody here commented, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, Boysinki, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The protests are likely to continue and grow because of the dysfunctional U.S. political system's inability to respond to democratic demands of populists. This social political quagmire speaks of gridlocked American power. All right. And that's another scripture there, too. Our people are still to this day in our captivity. OK. Where is that? Zechariah 11 and 5 is a good one. Okay, whose oppressors, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. All right, that's these cops and all these people killing you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the street and getting off. All right. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Okay. That's a good one. Psalms, the 73rd chapter gets in on that as well. All right. Verse 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. This is talking about the Edomites, okay? And this is why there's going to be civil unrest, is because the other people, the other nations, including the Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are tired of it, okay? Are tired of this devil getting away with murder, all right? Not condoning drugs, but able to do all these drugs, cocaine and all these things up in the suburbs, all right? But our people over here get locked away, for a little bag of weed or something, man. Not condoning it, but it shows a disparity between the two, and people are tired of it, all right? So it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. All right. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Okay. They speak lawfully. All right. And that's why racial tensions are going to continue in Babylon the Great until this place is ultimately destroyed. Okay. So, this article is pretty good. It goes in on, the main points, but again, the main pillars of American society, all right, rests on their economic, military, and cultural power, okay? Their economic portion, the dollar, is crashing as we speak. Their military is still strong, but the Lord is going to take them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, as it is written, okay? As it is written, let's grab Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter. All right. Therefore wait ye upon me, verse 8, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, till the day that I rise up to the prey. Who's the prey? The prey are these other nations, starting with Esau, Edom. Okay? It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Okay? The Lord is keeping Esau's military strong, all right, so that he could break his military into pieces, okay, as he did with Pharaoh. Okay, let's go to Romans chapter 13. Is it Romans 9 and 13? Okay, let's go to the point. Verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Okay, so this is why Esau's military is still on their feet. All right, so to speak. What's that scripture? 2nd Ezra chapter, is it 13? Yep, I believe this is it. Yep. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him. All right, is talking about Yahushua when he comes back. The Lord is coming with his his wrath, with his chariots. All right, which are the vehicles of the Most High, who the world would refer to as UFOs. Okay. All right. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, Yahushua, were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. All right, with their military, who the Lord preserved, so that we could have a good show. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, meaning the big chariot that he's going to ride in on, all right, is going to shoot a big concentrated laser beam at all the nations that come to attack him. Okay? And it says, verse 11, And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So this army, Esau's army, all right, is still alive and still kicking and still strong in in the presence of the world, okay? Because because the Lord is going to destroy it. Okay? Simple as that. So your economic, your military, and your cultural power, your democracy. All right, your democracy is failing throughout the four corners of the globe. It's apparent the other nations hate you. Okay, they're going to turn your back on you, and shoot missiles upon you and go to war against you, as it is prophesied and written. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. You know, this article is on point. It lines up with biblical prophecy, and it's going down. We're just waiting for we're just hastening the day. Okay, the end of American power is prophecy. With that, I want to say shalom to the elect.